Hello, welcome to another episode of Black Lives Matter. That's it. Black Guy 73. On this episode of this video, I want to talk about how some of the June 19th celebration over the weekend turned deadly for some and life changing for others. First, I'm going to talk about that all black people do not celebrate their ancestor independence on June the 19th. Because in the area I grew up in, we celebrate on around May the 28th or the fourth weekend in May. I know the fourth weekend in May around Memorial Day. It's just a coincidence. It happened around the same time our ancestors in West Georgia heard about the news that they were family free. They were around by May the 28th. I think it was 1863, like 2 years before when Texas found out. Yeah, so I stopped going to those celebrations as I got older because, to be honest with you, a lot of times those celebrations turn deadly or somebody shooting or be a bunch of fighting. So when I got brought up in my 20s, when I came from the Navy, in my 20s, I stopped going to celebration. It was nonsense. And over the weekend, around the country, a lot of that happened. From Chicago, North Carolina, Alabama, Minneapolis, throughout some of the United States. There were a bunch of celebration and a bunch of people getting shot. You know, they don't consider a mass shooting unless 3 or 4 people die. But I don't understand why they don't call it a mass shooting when 10 to 11 people getting shot. That's a mass shooting to me also. But like I said, in West Georgia, the area I live in, that we celebrate our ancestor independence on May the 28th or the fourth week in May. And, you know, while we were younger, we used to go out there, have fun, and cause it was the area they did it, the town called Thomaston, Georgia. So we used to go take that 30-minute trip, go look at the parade and the place at Lincoln Park in Thomaston, Georgia. We all meet up. You know, a lot of people meet up down there. They have vendors down there selling stuff. They have when they had a speaker come out, it'd be a preacher, and you know they do prayer together, and they have some kind of a little show going on. But later on in that evening, when them people alcohol start kicking in and they start seeing people they don't like, there's a lot of people who have lost their life or who've been injured over there. Cause I know this is not related to that weekend, but one of my cousins, he got shot over there because it was stupid. My cousin was a little young boy. He was just standing by one of my auntie's husband at the time. And one of the guys who dated my auntie at one time or something, it was just it was just a confusing jump. It ended up my auntie's sister boyfriend at the time, my other auntie, he took it upon himself and got a shotgun and shot it. And he shot with pellets. And the pellets spread and it hit my cousin in the back and hit my auntie husband and all that kind of junk. It was just stupid. But a lot of time when a bunch of black people get together and be alcohol, it's a good chance it's a mess. A mess gonna happen. Cause last year in my hometown, you know, like I said, in the fourth Saturday in May, they have that ancestor celebration of freedom. But in my hometown, they started doing their own celebration too on May the 29th. It's like an after celebration. So last year, it was a big shootout there. I normally try to take my daughter out there because my daughter wasn't born there, but I try to take around my family and enjoy itself, hang out. But this year I decided, last year I decided I didn't want to go. Then I saw it all on social media, and my niece now told me that there was a bunch of mess going on. A bunch of people were shooting. Luckily, nobody didn't get shot, but a bunch of people were shooting. So, like I said, I don't go to a celebration like that. I don't go to it. I already have PTSD. So, there's, when we do go out there, or did go out there, I might be at the hour max. I hate crowds, man. I hate crowds. I don't like being around a crowd of people. If I'm around a crowd of people, you better believe in the back where my back is, I can see what they're doing. But over the weekend, a lot of black people just heard about Juneteenth or June 10th, June 19th celebration of free slaves or free ancestors down in Texas. A lot of people heard about it. A lot of people just heard about it this weekend or this year. Okay, it's not a universal black thing, in the United States. Okay, everybody celebrate at different times. Okay, you know how it was back in the 1800s. You didn't have fast communication, so a lot of people just learned about it later and later and later and stuff like that. So that's why it's not. That's why you don't see a bunch of Georgia people, people like in South Carolina. It's a lot of black people around the country do not celebrate that holiday. It's just a Texas thing. Like they said, it's a Texas, when Texas found out their ancestors were free. But now they're trying to make it a law for all of the United States to celebrate June 19th as a holiday, as a federal holiday. I'm not against it. I'm not with it, But this weekend, a lot of people want celebrated the whole weekend. Some days, a Friday and Saturday, no incident took place. But like they went crazy on Sunday. It was I call it a mass shooting. I don't care if 3 or 4 people didn't die. It was 11 to 12 people hit throughout the country. In Charlotte, North Carolina, they said it was like over 100 shots fired. 3 people were hit. And 3 people were killed and 12 people were hit. In the area where it happened at, I have been there plenty of times because it's in the area where my daughter and her mom stayed that's about 3 miles, 3.5 miles or so from the area where the incident took place. So once I seen it on the news, I got in touch with my daughter and asked her, reached out to her, and she told me she was safe and everything. So I was happy. It happened on Betty Ford Road in Charlotte. I can't think of the exit right now, but I think it's exit 12. I think. I might be wrong. It's between 12 or 13, something like that. It's like when you get in the city limit of Charlotte, you ride for a few miles and you'll see it off to your right, Betty Ford exit. So yeah, I got in touch with my daughter. My daughter said she was safe, but it just wasn't Charlotte, North Carolina. In Chicago, it was a bunch of people lost their life. Minneapolis, I think it was like 11 to 12 people who got shot. I think they said, Uptown, Auburn, Alabama, there were 4 people got shot. I tell you, Trump might have been right. President Trump might have been right. that when he said he made June 19th popular throughout the United States. I know I said it earlier, but a lot of black people didn't know nothing about June 19th. Be honest with you, I learned about it from an episode of Blackish. It's an episode on, it's a TV show on ABC. That one I learned about the June 19th celebration. Because like I said, we celebrate May the 28th, or the fourth weekend in May. But I'm going to reach out some of this article. It said, I don't know if y'all want to hear the whole article. I'll go to some part. They said, in just the past few days, more than 100 people were wounded in a shooting in Chicago, including a 3-year-old boy who was killed while riding in the backseat of the car with his father. They said police said the boy's father was the intended victim. That's the most. They said that's the most people shot in one weekend in Chicago since 2012. But they said that not the deadliest this year. And so on Memorial Day weekend, 20 people were fatally shot in the city. In North Carolina, what I was just talking about, is Northwest North Carolina. That'd be Northwest Charlotte. I'm sorry, Northwest Charlotte. It said 3 people was killed and 6 were wounded in the early morning when an unknown gunman opened fire during they just started a block party in Charlotte. Around on the west side, I said about 2 years ago. I try to go visit my daughter every year. So that's it. 2 years ago, my daughter, I heard about this game. I think it was Clover. I think it's Clover or something like that in Charlotte. And they is on the west side. And I was talking to her about it. I said, I was looking at, remember on Discovery when I used to do a show talk about the games in the different cities. Now I'm telling my daughter, she said, yeah, I heard of them. They just right around the corner. I can ride you by the neighborhood where the so-called base or the apartment complex that they are so-called controlling. So I'm pretty sure the name of the game is Clover. And they on the west side. They's not too far from Bedford Road. There's no evidence saying the game on the west side was the shooter or the shooters, but they supposed to be one of the notorious gangs in the city. They said with over 100 shots fired at that in that celebration on Bedford Road. But there was, according to the article, there was one young lady, she was killed. She was pronounced dead on the scene in the middle of the highway. So what they said the person just saw a people, because according to the article in Charlotte, there were at least 3 different gun shells they found. And they said they don't know were they targeting a person or they just start shooting up in the crowd. But there were 3 different people shooting. And a lot of innocent people got shot. Or it could have been somebody from the different side of the town game after the west side game, and they just started shooting. But yeah, it's at an annual birthday party in Syracuse, New York over the weekend. Were married by gun violence that wounded 9 people. In Minneapolis, people fled a popular nightlife and retail area as gunfire broke out. It's injured 11 people early Sunday. They said in a separate shooting in the downtown area was a man who got killed. And they say and for the second time in less than 48 hours, there was a shooting in Seattle protest zone. They said it was a 17-year-old victim was shot late Sunday night in the area known as CHOP. It's Capitol Hill Occupy protest. They said a day after a 19-year-old man was fatally shot and a 33-year-old man was critically injured. But according to experts, they said gun violence are down this year. Yeah, I guess so. It would be down if you have a pandemic going around. You have people afraid to leave their home. But summertime coming up. Another on people who've been living on frozen areas.